Time for Law and Disorder.
I demand a lawyer.
With attorney Jeff Kaufman on 101.1 WJRR.
All right, Jeff Kaufman, one of the partners at Kaufman Lynd, personal injury attorneys here in Central Florida. If you or someone you know has been injured, car accident, slip and fall, some other means, and you need some legal representation or just you have some inquiries to make, Jeff's a good resource.
He's really easy to get in touch with. It is Jeff at whenyouneedus.com or pound 546 on your cell. And for the questions that you have this morning, you can text them to us at 22526. Already have questions coming in. But you have something going on this week, right?
Yeah, we do a comedy show on the second Thursday of every month at downtown at Bonkers, which is the Corner. It's a bar down in downtown Orlando. This one's going to be all for the money, the Valentine's edition. So it'll be myself, Miguel Colon, Ken Miller, and James John. And we do brand new shows every month. So it's a lot of fun. Free tickets. Go to whenyouneedus.com/events and just fill out the stuff. It's free.
Again, whenyouneedus.com/events.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
You ever get hecklers?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ignore them or do you deal with them? You give them attention?
No, you answer it. Because everyone hears it. So if you don't answer, it's a weird thing. I mean, I did this bit yesterday about Starbucks and giving a fake name. And the dude whose name that I give a fake name, Armando, he was in their group. And they're just screaming and yelling because they're happy to hear this guy's name.
You know what I do? I would just have a little basket of baseballs with me. And any time that somebody wanted to start heckling, just throw a curveball at them.
Yeah, it'll
shut them down.
Do you forget what I do for a living?
Yeah, probably would not work well for a personal injury attorney.
No, then you hand out cards.
Yeah, look at him creating his own business.
Sue myself.
To sue himself.
Yeah.
Come on, that's crafty.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's something like that.
All right, so that's this Thursday. whenyouneedus.com/events. I work in a tipped position and come into work 2 hours before opening to do setup. My employer only pays me 30 minutes of a non-tipped wage. Is that legal? That means an hour and a half of that time is not being paid normal wage.
Here's the way this works out. Let's say it's a 8-hour gig. It has to equal out to at least you're getting minimum wage. So that's including tips. So if you're not getting enough to cover at least minimum wage, which I think, $12 now?
I believe so, yeah.
So if it's not, let's say you work an 8-hour gig and you don't make $96, then there's a problem. So it's all inclusive. So tips plus what they pay you divided by hours.
All right. There you go. If I have a marijuana felony in Florida from 2005, am I still not allowed to carry a firearm?
Well, that's a federal issue, and it's also a state issue. Normally, when you have a federal charge, you got to get it. I mean, when you have a felony, they don't let you carry. What's the new law now? I think they passed a new law where they don't have. What's the new gun law?
Well, it's the concealed. You don't have to have you don't have to go and do the.
So you don't have to buy the concealed permit, but you might not even be able to get a gun now because of the felony. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get the governor's people to. What's that called?
Pardon you?
Those chances are slim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not happening.
No, but there's a committee, and you can take it to committee, and who knows?
This might be a type to text. Sometimes it's a text coming.
At least it's one sentence.
Hey, Jeff,
Always a bonus.
I got into a lift accident. It says man lift, but I think that's the text out.
No, it could have been one of those, Dirty Dancing things.
Oh,
where
no,
it
could have been where you're
scissor lift.
Life,
Scissor lift.
Just a dude cranking up.
Two dudes just lifting each other up like Cirque du Soleil.
Two dudes, one cup. Yeah. No, hey, Jeff, I got into a man lift accident at work and lost my spleen.
Jeez.
But I didn't have a lift license when it happened. Do I have a case?
Oh, I think you might be talking about one of those
lifts.
machines.
That's what I'm saying, like a scissor lift.
I thought it might have been lift as in the car company.
That's with a Y.
No, this is the lift in the warehouse.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of it will deal with, did the accident happen? Well, not anymore because you haven't even filed on it yet. So if you're found more than 50% responsible, it could be on you. But this is also a workers' comp case, dude. You obviously have a workers' comp case on top of this. So I'd first, if you're you lost your spleen, whatever therapy you needed to go through, it feels like you got to start it off as a workers' comp to begin.
How long ago did it happen? Does that have a bearing in this situation?
It can, because there are limitations on time and things like that when it comes to workers' comp. But If you haven't worked on it already, give me a call and I'll send you to somebody who specializes in that.
In workman's comp, that's Jeff.
Even though I don't do it, I'll make sure to put you in the right direction.
You're good like that, too. Jeff at whenyouneedus.com, and he'll send you the right way. I'll text him back, too. If you hit a car driving without headlights, who's at fault?
Well, if it's during the day, it most likely is you. But,
You're dumb.
so, to be honest with you, it really depends on how, if the sun's up.
They're driving at night and no headlights on and hit a car. Who's at fault?
Okay, what happens is we've handled cases like this where somebody would be on the side of the road, they don't turn their blinkers on, they don't turn their hazards on, and you hit them. Yes, they're supposed to comply with the road. Now, if it was clear that you should have been able to see them, but you were going too fast, then that's on you. But if he was going below the speed limit and didn't have his lights on, then you might have a case in this scenario.
Yeah, you see, sometimes you'll be out, and you see that car driving with no headlights on.
Yeah.
And, okay, if it's in a, kind of well-lit area, you're like, okay, maybe I can see how they haven't realized their headlights are on. I saw one the other night. It's pitch dark out. I'm like, how can they not know their headlights aren't on?
People sometimes
quality
have
medication.
God!
I've come up on
medical
the back.
marijuana? I don't know what we're talking about.
God almighty.
I've come up on the back of a car where their taillights aren't lit up, but it's because they have those automatic lights that come on just right away.
I have automatic, but I know, unless I'm on a highway that is fully lit, there's no lights.
Well, no, even with the automatic lights, you still see ahead of you because the lights come on. It's just your driving lights in the back, your tail lights do not.
Those have to be on?
Those have to be on.
They have to be on.
Dude, I'm talking about that. I drove a Mazda when I endorsed Mazda.
There you go.
You ready?
There you go.
I drove.
So you lost me at Mazda.
No, okay, just hold on. I endorsed them and I drove their car, and when you turned on the car, the driving lights automatically came on, which are headlights. All right, fellas?
Yeah.
There were not taillights when those headlights were on.
Even exist anymore?
Unless I turned it all the way on for headlights.
So does it surprise me that you endorsed a vehicle that had bad lighting?
It didn't have bad lighting.
Of course it has bad lighting. If the front turns on and the back doesn't turn on, it's bad lighting.
It's pointless. All right. To Jeff, I work for a...
Sorry I brought it up.
There you go. It's a touchy subject with him and his Mazda.
Watch next time you're driving down the road and you go, man, that car has no taillights. And then you pull up ahead and you go, oh, their headlights are on. You'll go, Bob's smarter than he looks. To Jeff, I work for a well-known pizza company, was doing some deep cleaning.
Was that big-ass pizza?
No, not BAF pizza.
That's to be well-known in future dates.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And we need to talk about financials on that, by the way.
All right, we'll work on that.
Little reminder. So anyway,
off the Mazda money you made.
They're doing a deep cleaning at this pizza joint and got bit by a brown recluse. Never saw the spider to prove it, but would that be workman's comp?
How do you know it was a brown recluse if you didn't see it?
Maybe because of the scarring.
Headlights
weren't on.
going.
It felt like a brown. I've been bit by those things before. There's always going to be an issue. If you get hurt at work, we talk about this, that's a workers' comp issue. If it's extremely negligent, meaning that they've been overrun with brown recluse spiders, that could be on the business later on. These are some questions we're getting today. I got bit by a spider. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was a spider.
Oh, look at this one. TB is correct about the auto headlights. Yeah. Bob is right. I have a 2011 Silverado. The daytime lights come on automatically and the tail lights do not. You boys want to talk?
Do I want to ask you about the 2011 car that the lights don't work on? Okay.
At night, when you're driving, your taillights have to be illuminated. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to argue.
Can you get fired for being in? No, I just don't want Jeff to rag a company anymore.
Mazda doesn't even exist anymore.
Yes, they do.
They do?
Yes.
Really? When's the last time you saw a brand new Mazda?
Just this morning, pulled in the parking lot. I thought it was you.
You could tell because it didn't have his lights on. Okay.
Can you get fired for being injured off work, even though you have FMLE you can use? So I guess they got injured off work, and the company said,
well, they're saying, listen, if you can't be here, we don't care whether it was an injury or somebody else's illness. You're not here. It depends on your contract. It depends on your rights. Most likely they have a handbook that says how many days you can take off and how you get them. What he's saying is he has time off, and they're not giving it to him. It's all
family leave is what he's talking about, right? Yeah.
And he's fired.
Well, if they're violating a federal law, then they have a problem. But they can fire you because you're not there.
Okay.
Even if they say, because a lot of times they get around it by saying, anytime you ask for time off, it has to be okayed.
Okay.
So that's the way that works. So if they're violating some federal laws, you might have a problem and might have to seek an unemployment attorney.
And if you do, you can reach out to Jeff because he knows some good ones.
Right.
Jeff at whenyouneedus.com or pound 546 on your cell.
People after me. I didn't even know they exist. What's the Mazda brand now?
MR5 or something like that?
See, we don't
like
even
the
know. They're not,
See, I don't know what. Anyway,
I thought the Sierra's a Honda.
That's a CRV. Anyway, Jeff Kaufman, thank you. Get the hell out of here now.
You stirred up the hornet's nest enough
like
this
Mazda's
morning.
a big advertiser.
See you next week.